So, since I was a little kid, I've been a little mischievous brat. Nothing too bad, just some stuff not worth getting yelled about.
It's called we do a little trolling.
Like eating things that don't belong to me, or taking stuff without asking. But today, I want to talk about stuff I did that really got me in
trouble.
3 stories that will progressively get worse and worse. Number 1. Be me. Be in middle school. Now I'm taking some woodworking class. Am I interested in woodworking? No. Did I want to be there? Also no. But did I have a choice? No. But at least I would get to work with some dangerous power tools. So over the course of the semester, I'm making things. I made a shitty frame that I stained one side darker. I made a shelf that I brought home and never put on the wall. And then here comes this third project that gets me in
Trouble.
the cutting board. So I do what I'm supposed to do. I glue pieces of wood together, make sure they stay in place. I cut it into a cutting board shape, sand it, and then rub some stuff over it. I don't know, like I said, I wasn't paying attention. And throughout these steps, I was really careful because for the first time since starting this class, I was actually pretty proud of my work. Now there was an optional step where you could take your board and put it into a laser engraver where you could engrave anything. You had students engraving their name onto it, or engraving puns into it, or writing thoughtful messages on it because they had forgotten it was Father's Day and was going to use it as a last minute gift. For me, I decided to write "Let's Cook" with the face of Heisenberg on it. At the time I was deep into season 4 of Breaking Bad and was just about to start season 5. But before my board could finish being engraved, my class ended, meaning that I would get my board back next class after the engraving process was done and the teacher was done grading it. So when it came time to go back to class, I was excited, but when the teacher handed back everyone's board but not mine, I was surprised and just assumed that he hadn't graded it yet and I would get it back next class. Though in the back of my head, I thought to myself, there's no way I'd get in trouble for that, right? 2 periods later, during art class, the art teacher gets a call and tells me that I need to go to the office. I anxiously walk to the office where I meet the counselor and he brings out the board and asks me, "Are you making meth?" No. Like, what are you, a dumbass? Asking a 14 to 15 year old whether or not he's making meth? Like, where would I even learn that? Though I can understand why he would be concerned. Here's a hint. No, it wasn't for making meth. Anyway, I'd be lying if I said I didn't cry. I was a goody two-shoe and rarely got into trouble. After that, he gave back my board and I went back to class, a little less proud of my cutting board, and I never did get back to watching season 5 of Breaking Bad. I still have the cutting board though. It's a bit worn down. Number 2. Be me. Be in high school, junior year. Me and my friend wanted to hang out at the mall, but he didn't have his car at the time, and in addition to that, he also had work in a couple hours. So I offered to drive him, but since I didn't have a car at the time, I decided to take my brother's car. Which, by the way, wasn't easy. I essentially had to fight him for it. But I get it, and we go to the mall and hang out till there's only 30 minutes left before he had to start his shift at work, which is a perfect amount of time for him to get there. Now, I know how to get to the mall, and I know how to get to work. But I don't know how to get to work from the mall. But that shouldn't be a problem. I'll just use Google Maps. Now to make a long story short, the drive was a big mess. I went in this big circle, made my friend late for work, and I crashed my brother's car. What happened was the GPS brought us to this intersection where I ended up on the turning lane, and next to me was a truck that was supposed to go straight. But the thing is, I also needed to go straight, and me being reckless, I went straight instead. And because that truck had a trailer attached to it, it couldn't stop in time, and it rear-ended us. The accident was definitely my fault. I still remember it vividly, probably because right before it happened, my friend screamed like a little bitch. Though, I guess you can't blame him. In the end, police got involved, insurance was exchanged, my friend didn't have to come into work, and it was picked up by his mom. And I got an ass whooping from my parents. Number 3. Do you remember that foreshadowing bit from earlier? Well, this is it. The worst thing I've ever done. Be me. Be in middle school. And Netflix's Death Note has just come out. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? And because the live action was going to be released, I was watching the anime. And to be honest, it's bad. I thought it was okay. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but that's just my opinion. And I get this idea. I'm with my friends in some computer science class, and I take out an empty notebook. And on the front cover, I write Death Note. And I show it to my friends. and we're just laughing and giggling, and we write our own names in it. And how'd we die? And our deaths are not peaceful. It's some of the edgiest shit you could write. Stuff I can't say if I ever want to be monetized. In addition to our friend group, we also included some of our siblings and no one else. Well, except Trump, who was president at the time. But you know, that's like fair game because he's famous, and when you're famous, that's sort of like a imaginary contract you sign when you become famous. Now, instead of getting rid of it, I keep it in my bag thinking it was going to be safe. No, it wasn't. A couple days later, my parents get a call to show up at the office, and at the time, I didn't realize the notebook was gone till I looked into my bag and saw that it was gone. I get suspended for 2 weeks, but it was really 1 day because the next day was winter break, and got sent home and got an ass beating from my parents. Before we left, I was told that if I wanted to continue going to that school, I would have to talk to a psychiatrist, which I did, and they seemed very confused and told me as bad as it was for me to do this, this might be a bit over the top. After break, I come back and tell my friends what happened, and no, I didn't rat them out. And they said, oh, we didn't even know you got suspended. Well, of course you didn't. I took one for the team, and I got suspended for like a day anyway. I got lucky. Remember in the first story when I said I could understand why the counselor would be concerned? Well, he was involved in this, and he was the one who called my parents and brought him to the office. Should I have made that notebook, even knowing that people had been arrested over this in the past? No. Is it my fault? Yeah. Am I a dumbass? Also, yeah. In conclusion,
I'm retarded?